Okay, so I assigned you guys the June 2012 Regents, and I'd like this week for you to go through questions 1 through 30, and I'm going to try to give you hints to get through the ones that we haven't covered yet because they reoccur on every single exam, and I have enough hints to get you the right answer. If you want to continue to go on and do the whole exam, that's fine. I'll give you the answer key, and I'll also tell you what questions from 31 to 85 that you have covered in class. Okay, well, the first one going through the first 30, I think you're going to have trouble with is number 9. Okay, number 9 asks for compounds that can be broken down by chemical means during a process. Now, we have not covered the correct answer yet. All right, but 3 out of the 4 answers are physical ways of breaking down a mixture. And a mixture is different than a compound in that mixtures are broken down and put together physically. So the correct answer is going to be the word that you do not know, which is number 9, electrolysis. All right, but numbers 1, 2, and 4 going forward are physical means of separation. So number 1 is chromatography, which is a means of separation by absorption rate or polarity, which we saw in chromatography paper with ink dots. Number 2 is distillation, which we did in class, which is a means of separation by boiling point. And number 4 is a means of separation, filtration by particle size, which you guys have been doing because we live on Long Island since you were young kids at the beach. Okay, all of those we have done. Moving on. The next question I think you're going to have trouble with is going to be number 24. Okay, number 24 is asking for a unit to express pressure. Now we have covered the mole, we have covered Kelvin, and some of you have covered joules if you're in my Regents class, and if you're in my honors class, we just started to cover joules right before this whole thing went down. So the correct answer is Pascal, but you can also find that on your reference tables. There is I think it's table D, is a units table. And on that table, it will give you the unit for every single type of, what's the word they use here? Pressure, temperature, amount of substance, all of those different units are given on table D. And if you looked under pressure, Pascal would be the right answer. So that's 24. 25 is a subliming question, which means you're going to go straight from a solid to a gas. We've talked about this a couple of times. All right, going solid to gas involves a weak IMF. So if you have a weak IMF, you will slip through the liquid phase very quickly, so much so that it's invisible to the normal eye. All right, there are 2 substances that you need to know that sublime. All right, our subliming substances are CO2, goes from a solid to a gas. And I don't know, can you guys see that? Are you too far away? I'll move in on the board when I'm done. Okay, and so does iodine. Iodine is a diatomic, so you need to make sure you put the 2, that looks like a Z, let me fix it. The 2 going from a solid to iodine to going like a gas. I'm an elementary school teacher here at home now, so my 2s are no longer allowed to be written like that because my kids say they look like backwards 6s, but that's how I write them in school. Okay, the next one that I think you're going to have trouble with is number 26, which involves equilibrium. Now, my Regents kids, we talked about this, and honors kids, we touched upon it as well, okay, that if it is corked and we have evaporation going on, we will get what we call an equilibrium, okay, between the H2O okay, going from the solid phase, from the liquid phase into the gas phase, meaning that every single time one liquid particle evaporates because of its vapor pressure, there'll be room then for one to go from the gas phase to the liquid phase because there's a pressure that exists because the bottle's stoppered. All right, this question shows up on every single Regents exam. Sometimes it's a short answer. You need to know the 2 conditions of equilibrium. If they're happening at the exact same time, which is what the condition of equilibrium is, okay, the rates are equal. And what that means is as you go from a liquid to a gas at the exact same time, you're going from a gas to a liquid. Liquid to gas to liquid, liquid to gas to liquid. Those 2 things are occurring at exactly the same rate, which means that the number of particles that you have as a liquid and the number of particles that you have as a gas stay constant. All right, so every time one liquid particle goes to the gas phase, it appears there'll be more gases, but at the exact same moment, one gas particle goes to the liquid phase, and therefore you have a constant exchange. And what we get here is that the concentrations are constant. All right, and I say C because they're going to give you concentrations are equal, and you're going to want to pick that answer because the word equilibrium has equal in it, so you always want an equal answer, and that's not always the case, okay? There is something that's equal. That goes for rates. Rates are equal, concentrations are constant. That's on every single Regents exam. I'm going to stop there so my video is not too long, and I'm going to empty my board, and then I'll pick up with the last couple of questions. But this is what I have written for you so far, so you can see it, okay? This is my elementary school 2. This is my high school 2. And I'll see you guys in a few minutes.